Welcome to TechMark Pod, where we innovate, discuss, and discover the dynamic intersection of technology and marketing. In each episode, we explore how businesses can leverage both to drive growth and innovation. Meet Alvin, our esteemed host for TechMark Pod. With over 15 years of experience as a renowned marketer, project manager, and software as a service architect, join us as we uncover the unique value proposition of integrating technology and marketing strategies, helping you stay ahead in this fast-paced digital world.
Hi everyone, welcome to TechMark Pod. This is episode 4 of season 3, and my guest is Soli Tau Makofane. Soli, welcome to TechMark Pod.
Thanks for having me, my brother. I really appreciate it. How are you?
I'm great. I can't complain. So, Soli, I've got a twist to the whole podcast, right? So what I did is I went to AI, and I want to know who is Soli Makofane, right? Assuming that I don't know you, but I know you, but I'm just going to check what AI says about you. So there's an interesting result, right? So the first query, I just put Soli Makofane. I didn't put your second name, Tau, right?
Okay.
So what comes out first and who ranks higher? There's another Soli that ranks higher. He's a South African
Really?
kwaito musician based on the
Okay.
energetic hit, Wabo Fellow, which became very popular in 2000. So it gives you quick facts.
Yeah.
Kwaito.
So
Are you
basically,
the
I'm
one?
the second
You
Soli
can,
ranking higher.
this is the first Soli that's ranking high. So you can confirm.
Wow.
Maybe you're pulling a mzege on me.
And then I know the gentleman, by the way. I know the gentleman is actually a gospel singer in our country. He's no more, is the late right now. So yeah, I think I know the gentleman.
Is it? Okay. So I then said, no. I don't think this is the one I'm looking for,
Yeah.
Then he says, oh, yeah, indeed. Soli is connected to GAVO. Based on public professional profiles, he is the founder of GAVO and a full-stack developer entrepreneur behind the company and its software offerings. Soli is identified online on LinkedIn as the founder of GAVO, a business that develops cloud-based safety compliance software. How basically it just summarizes that is who you are. Soli,
Is that
tell
all?
us.
I thought this is still more.
That's all.
Is that all? Oh wow.
That's all that
Okay.
you gave me.
Okay. I'm quite impressed with how it summarized that. Entirely because I'm one person who really get to have a problem with not only the AI tool but as well as search engines. Because remember, search engines and AI only grabs whatever they find from the net, whether it's true or not, but they will still simplify it and give it to the people. So I then get to ask myself a question to say, what is it that will happen in a case whereby somebody else decided to write a false article about me and the AI gets to grab that, compile it and give it to you as the truth? And I must say to you, I'm really happy with the fact that people like you get to take an initiative to create podcasts like this and get to grab the real stories from the horse's mouth. Because now you can imagine if I wasn't on your podcast, anyone who read that will take that as true. But I'll confirm that. Yes, actually, the way it summarized everything, that's just me, my brother.
True. So Soli, tell us about yourself. I mean, I want to know, how did you end up, producing GAVO? We'll come back to GAVO, right? But there is a whole history on Soli Makofane. Let's talk about that history.
My brother, are you sure you have 10 hours?
Not a problem. Let's summarize it.
Okay, 100%. Because, hey man, it was quite a long journey. I started off as just a mere fine artist, right? A lot of people know that I started off as a graphic design, but the fact is I started off as a fine artist from a young age. And I always knew what I wanted to do from a young age. But in high school, after I did my research, I then got to realize, you know what, fine art is no longer as big as it used to be back in the days. And I wanted to get something that was a little bit closer to fine art. Then I jumped into graphic design because it was basically me just still using my creativity but digitally, and that's when I started learning graphic design in high school. And while I was still in high school again, I thought, will this be able to sustain me? Because they never understood it at home. everything that I used to do and really never got it. And I thought, okay, since what graphic designing is working with computers, there must be something else that is a little bit close to graphic design and that is also working with computers. And that's when I started discovering IT. I'm coming from the era of I don't know if you've ever heard of the platform called Twilight, because I was one of the people who was behind that platform. That's when I started learning
No.
a lot about IT, learning a lot about graphic designing, learning a lot about the websites and all of that. Fast forward after matric, I went to study my graphic designing. Later on, I studied IT, and after studying IT, I worked in a couple of companies. Well, I didn't study the highest degree ever you can ever imagine of. I'm a fan of skills
Yeah.
courses because I want to study something that I really want to do practically. So, you know what I mean? So I worked in a couple of companies, including government entities, and after that, I felt like I don't think I make a very good employee because I always think differently compared to compared to how mature. Well, I would like to believe so at least, and that's when I started thinking of maybe I have to start my own company. And I founded the company by the name of Fuel Group. And as time goes by, I then started realizing, no, Fuel Group doesn't necessarily tell or sell me on what it does. So when you see the name passing by, no one will just assume that I'm actually within the IT space, right? And I felt like, you know
Mm.
what, let me drop it off. Let me start another one. I started another one by the name of SMM Studios. And every time people look at the name SMM Studios, they think I'm probably maybe your music producer guy and stuff like that. They thought like maybe I own music studio, and it kind of like positioned me in a negative way in the market, because with all of the people that I actually wanted to target, when they see that name, they didn't feel comfortable with doing business with me because they thought like I'm just one of those guys who want to see himself all over. And I rebranded the company
Yeah.
into SM SM meaning Sodi Makofane Space Information and Communication Technologies, and I stuck on that name till date. Back in 2022, I then again sat down. I looked at my portfolio, my clientele. I literally look at my entire history, and I sat down. I thought, what is it that built the SMICT? The SMICT got built by a lot of product intake and services that I kept on offering to my clientele, right? And I looked at among
Mm.
the entire set of products and services that I was offering to. Let me just try to say products, and I saw none of all of the products that I was offering to these companies were 100% designed to serve the lower market, small businesses. That's the number one thing. Number two, again, none of all of the products that I was selling in the market had any product that was developed or founded in the country. Majority of them are coming from outside the country. And I sat down, I thought, what is it that will happen if I were to sit down and come up with a brand that can get to be an ecosystem of software designed specifically to cater the smaller businesses? Yes, of course, going up to large corporates, but the entire idea was to create stuff that are mainly designed for the small businesses, and that's where
Yeah.
the idea of GAVO came about. And I founded GAVO and GAVO.com. And that's basically how it all started, my brother. I don't know if
So,
I'm answering
yeah,
correctly. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. What's interesting in what you said, right? It's almost like we're talking about branding, you know. Um, so there's so much into branding. When you left SMM Studio, and I'm thinking SMM Studio might as well be like Solima Kofane's company, the musician, because you know what I mean. And then you left that
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
it was not really blending with what you're offering. You're not a musician or anything of that nature. You know what I mean. Then you went
100%.
into to SMICT. So what is in the brand name GAVO? What does it mean?
Well, there are so many brands existing right now on planet Earth that has names, but they literally don't have meaning. Because I'm one person turned out to believe each and every single word existing on planet Earth was created by a human being, and they gave a meaning behind that. And me creating the name GAVO, I thought, you know what, I just have to come up with a random name. And to be honest with you, I came up with that name. I wanted to name the company Giver, Giver like a Giver, because I
Yeah.
wanted to position it as a company that gives back to the smaller businesses on majority of the things that they never had. But my challenge was when I searched within the CIPC as well as the domain registry companies, I couldn't find the domain Giver and the name Giver within the CIPC. And I then decided to say, why can't I still have the same rhythm of a name but change the name altogether? And I started playing around with words until I arrived on the name GAVO, and it was
GAVO.
GAVO.com.
Okay.
And that's basically how I named the
Okay.
company. Yeah.
Oh, great, great. Let's talk about GAVO. You said it's a suite of software packaged for small to medium enterprises.
100%.
Yes. So
So,
I want you to unbundle it. Let's unbundle it and understand what is your service offering on GAVO.
100%. So basically how it started off just as building custom-made solutions. My brother, we can all agree, not all of the products in the market that are being sold to these companies solve 100% of their problems. You find companies spending so much amount of money on a certain software, and when you check within that software, they're only probably utilizing 30% of it, or even 40% of it, sometimes not even 10% of it. But now when you look at the subscription money that they spend on their licensing, turn out to be this huge amount of money. So where we bridge the gap is we started off by just going to these companies and saying, let's rather look at the exact problem that you have and allow us to deal with that specific problem only. Not for us to come with that one software that is designed to be one size fits all. We just want to only tackle that specific issue that you're dealing with. And on top of that, again, we can all agree, so many softwares in the market are designed to just be neutral softwares. What do I mean by that? In order for you to be able to understand what they do, you'll need to invest not only into buying the software or paying the license fee of the software, but as well as training of your internal stakeholders for them to be able to use these softwares, right? And we thought, I think we can definitely get to cut down the amount of money these companies are actually spending by doing what? Identifying the actual problem the companies are facing, coming up with a tailor-made product, but not just a tailor-made product that is designed by you, the consumer within the company. Because that time now we're listening to the type of solution you like to have and how you love to see your internal employees being able to operate the product that we will actually get to bring forth. And that way we knew we'll be solving 100% of the problem at the most lowest cost ever. And obviously clients will give them an option of keeping the IP, but if you can't be able to keep the IP, we'll then reserve the IP, but only give you the license or usage rights, and you pay a certain amount of money on a monthly basis. That's how we started, right? But now as time goes by, I then started looking at majority of the companies that I serve, particularly one company that is a group of companies that I have as a client. They've got so many companies underneath that group of companies, and majority of them are small businesses. And I started checking the type of softwares that they actually use. Most of these companies don't even have relevant tools for them to be able to perform their daily tasks. And I'll give you an example. I'll say 80% of them were still relying on Microsoft Word and Excel to prepare quotation and invoices. Come the time where the accountant says, please send me the receipts as well as the invoices that you've been sending to the client, they don't even know where to find all of that. And we saw that as a gap again, as the pain these small businesses are actually having. And I asked myself, if it's only these companies that I'm servicing, what about all of other small businesses existing in the market? I started asking them questions. I did an on-ground survey to say, please tell me why you're still using these softwares. And they said, look, man, it's mainly because these accounting softwares are quite expensive. You know, these accounting softwares are quite expensive. This and you find out that as small business, you probably only invoice or code the client once in a week. So the amount of money that you're even making from the client wouldn't even be anything close to the licensing fee this big accounting systems are actually charging. That was their pain. And I thought, let me go back and perhaps just start building a tailor-made product, small product that will be able to serve this market. And the first product ever that I built was GAVO invoicing and billing system. And I took the product to the same people. They're currently utilizing and using it. And then that's when I sat down to say, if I could be able to identify this one specific problem, how many problems are these small companies facing on a daily basis with on majority of the product that they would love to use, but they can't literally be able to get their hands on? And the entire thing now started shifting to say, it's not every day where we will get clients who say, we'd like you to build a system for us and all of that. We get those kind of, tech business is not the same as selling food where you are guaranteed that every day there'll be a client coming to buy a bread, right? And we thought maybe instead of us just sitting down, waiting for that one client to come knock at the door for us to build something for them, let's rather build solutions that will then be able to sell and earn on a monthly basis, on a subscription-based business model. And that's where now the idea of building multiple different types of solutions started. And now we have almost up to 4 products that we have, and we still have more other products that we're still building. Among those products, one of them is the one that you saw, which is GAVO Safety and Risk Observation System. We've got the GAVO Verified. We've got the GAVO Project, and there's still more other products that we are building in the pipeline. Yeah.
Congratulations. So
Thank you so
all
much,
these are cloud-based solutions, basically.
100%, except the GAVO Safety and Risk Observation, because we realized certain spaces where we will have loved to, implement the system. They don't necessarily have tangible, stable network, because the top 3 industries that we are currently targeting, of which obviously will expand as time goes by, depending on who the client will find along the way, is the mining industry, is the retail industry, as well as the construction industry. Some construction companies work in certain areas whereby they don't even have a stable network. So we got to a point whereby we got to develop the product not only to work with your smartphone, but to also work with internal gadgets, your sensors, humidity sensors, temperature sensors, and all of that, your smoke detectors and all of that. And they kind of like storing data internally on them, the way we design them. And on later on, when the network get to be stable, they upload. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes.
Okay, that's. You guys are doing pretty good job. So if we look at GAVO, your strategy, so are you saying you're offering off-the-shelf SaaS products? That is, when I go to GAVO website, I can just purchase or subscribe, and then there's a customized approach.
Yes, 100%. We have products that are just designed to cater anyone. And we also have a portion on site, because certain companies will then come and say, I see your solution. For instance, the GAVO Safety and Risk Observation System. In all of the companies where we install this thing, it doesn't work the same. Because that one, we took it and understood the fact that if you go within the retail, majority of the people are working with food. So now if you want to raise an observation, it's basically a form on the system that you have to fill up. That's where it will be asking you about the type of product that you're raising for and all of that. That wouldn't work within the mining space, isn't it? So when we get within the mining space, we also listen to their pain. We want to understand what is it that we just don't want to assume that since as a fully developed product, it will work for all. And of which is the very same pain that I explained in the first place, to say so many companies find themselves in a position whereby they procure these softwares 3 years down the line, or even 3 months down the line, they are no longer using the product, but they pay the whole huge amount of money on it, right? And that's where the customization comes into the picture. And by the way, all of our products, we build them in a way, any client who can say, I'm more than willing to pay a bit of money for you guys to customize this thing to be exactly the way we want, then we do that 100%.
Yeah. So last year I attended more of an event. I think it was just like a product showcasing event from a company that is coming from let me say it's coming from somewhere in the West, but I don't want to state the country in case people will pick up which company I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they do have their software platform, and they say it's a customized platform. The room was full. I can tell you now, the room was full of people, and they were asking questions. And one thing that I found out was there was none or zero support from them. So the idea was to offer a cheap entry into the market. Let's say they charge very less, to say maybe it's an open source code software platform, and then after you build, you're going to have challenges. After you have those challenges, then they start charging you for support and charging you to customize the software, which I felt like it was a gap for us as South African entrepreneurs, be able to fill that gap to say, look, we're here to custom build your software and offer you after sales support.
Well, my brother, there's one thing that maybe I need to highlight, and which is a fact, right? In the first place, I said to you, jokingly off the record, that I wasn't happy with the fact that the LinkedIn algorithm is literally pushing my work toward the techie people. I'm building the products for the consumers, not for the techie people, because techie people can build their own products, isn't it? And why am I mentioning that? I'm mentioning that because as people, sometimes we turn out to forget that the stuff that we do, we don't do them for ourselves, rather for the next person.
Yeah.
And when you go to the next person, you must have it at the back of your mind that that next person might not understand this things the same way you understand them. Take people. When I walk in the room, I want everyone to feel that I'm actually from the tech background. And from just right there, before you can sell any product, you lost a lot of people. Why? I will want to be talking this tech jargon language and stuff like that. I will want to make everyone feel that I'm actually the best within tech. If you go look at the slogan of our company, SMRCT, is tech simplified. The idea behind starting the company, SMRCT, was for us to simplify technology for everyone. And I'll tell you right now, within the SMRCT, I've got companies that are owned by I don't want to say old people, senior people. they hate it when I say old people. Senior people. And senior people have a fear of technology. You can hear even the word that I'm using. I'm not saying they've got tech phobia. No, I'm saying they have a fear of technology. And in order for them to understand what you're dealing with and be comfortable with giving you their money for you to provide solutions to them, you have to kind of like strip down this whole bunch of complicated things and make them as simple as possible for them to understand. Then that way they'll give you attention. So you might find that the reason why people didn't really support that company X in that seminar, it wasn't not because they don't understand what the company is offering, but it was entirely because somebody was trying to be all over, trying to show that they're actually coming from the. My brother, there are clients that if I were to tell you how I found them, they didn't even know that I was coming from the tech background. No. When I greet a person, I greet them in their own language. I get on the same ground with them, and I have a very simple conversation with them for me to understand their problems. And on a later stage, I say, what if I were to bring a solution for you that can be able to solve your problem? They'll obviously ask, what kind of a solution? I don't start throwing in this tech languages and all that. They don't care about what language you are using, my brother, the background. They don't care what kind of computer you have. They don't care about the specific. All they care about is, I want to see this problem solved. then that's where now I start
Mhm.
looking at the type of person now I'm talking to, right? The type of person, how I'm talking to you right now. If you were to bring someone from along the street, I'm not going to talk to them the same way. I'm able to
Yeah.
adapt quickly. If you put me in the street, if you put me in the barroom, in the office and all of that, I'm able to adapt. Why
Yeah.
am I saying
Adopt.
this?
Yeah.
You get to get in a position of understanding that we are in a position of sitting with so many broken systems that were created by people, because broken system means broken people, and they are not broken because they were supposed to be broken. No, they are broken because we turn out to choose people who can think of the ones on ground when they decide or when they create something. I'll give an example of what I'm talking about so that you can get where I'm coming from. I once sat down with
Mm.
one professor right after his speech in a certain, it was a career exhibition. He was talking to grade 12 learners, right? After talking to this grade 12 learners, he came to me and he said, "How was it, Saul?" And I asked him, "You want me to be honest with you?" And he said, "Yeah, be honest." I said, "I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I didn't even hear a thing. And if I didn't hear a thing, they didn't hear anything." And he asked
Bro.
why. I said,
Yeah.
you I said, you people at the top position always want to compete, always want to do things to make one another feel like I'm the best. And when you do that, and that includes building systems, writing books, and doing all of that. You write a book because I want to come and give it to my brother Alvin, so that he can see that I'm
Mm.
actually a better professor than him. And we do that at the cost of the young ones on the ground. And in the result of that, we find ourselves having this huge amount of system, this huge amount of books. Somebody read it now. Within 3 months, they forgot about what they read. Why? Because when you were writing it, you were not writing for them. You were actually writing it for your peers, for them to see that you are actually a better professor than them. And that
That's
is
them.
exactly the same problem that we actually experiencing within the tech space. Within the tech space, you want people to feel that you're within the tech space, and that was their problem. Now you're no longer addressing the pain that you find in the room. You are actually just contesting. You're actually just modeling in front of people. You want people to see that you are good. You just want to look good, but at the end of the day, there's not anything that you're actually doing to help these people on the ground. And that's one thing I so wish people can understand when they approach different people. Till date, I'm still saying it to you, my brother. If you can't make it make sense to my niece who's 5 years old, it can never make sense to a 95-year-old. Trust me.
Definitely. Now, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you 100%. I want to ask another question in terms of of GAVO. Are you bootstrapping or you have raised capital for GAVO?
What do you mean by that? Please explain that.
As in, did you get funding for GAVO or you are using your own money?
You see, you just did exactly what I tried to explain a few minutes back, right? You said, "Am I bootstrapping?" A bootstrap in tech is actually a framework that is used to
Yeah.
develop websites. You know that very well. So when you say, "Am I bootstrapping?" I'm thinking, oh, he's probably talking about the product that he already saw. Am I using Bootstrap or not? You know what I mean? And that's
No.
exactly what I mean. So
Yeah.
imagine if you were to ask someone who's not even in tech, you left them confused 100%. Look,
Yeah, definitely.
with Gava, we built the product or the company out of our own pocket. Remember, majority of the stuff that we do are services, right? And when you
Yeah.
offer a service, in most cases, especially within the tech, you use your intellect for you to get clients. You use your intellect for you to render a certain service, and we will take
Mhm.
the money that we get from that and invest it back into the business. That's basically how we founded the GAVO.
Great. And I think I wanted to ask about client acquisition, but now I think your strategy, I think you spoke about it in a way that you have simplified the way you communicate it with any person at any level, which becomes one of your client acquisition strategy. Do you have any other strategies besides that?
Basically, through a word of mouth, obviously, some of the companies that we are servicing. Because if you were to also
Mm-hmm.
go check online, we don't really get to advertise some of our products that much, right? So we will rely mostly on people who have tasted the food from the recipe that we actually have to say, you guys have tasted the food. It would be better for you to be able to tell somebody else or someone else about the product that we actually have. And it becomes easier that way. Why? Because if you were to talk to somebody who's not within tech, who've used our own product, it kind of like hit home. You guys have to be able to talk on common grounds, and it becomes easier for people to indulge into what we actually doing. Yes, of course, we also have partners. This is how we partner with people. I'll give you an example. Say somebody is within the law industry, and they'll come to us and say, I've been having this idea that I wanted to develop, and I already have. Okay, let me not say a lot industry. Let me give you an example with accounting industry. Somebody will say, I have clients. I've been servicing this clients for quite some time, and my clients are business people, right? And I've been using these products, product A and B. They're quite expensive for my clients. So I like to downgrade all of them. I know they'll be happy if we were to have a solution that can be able to do X, Y, Z. Keep it at the back of your mind. That company already have clientele. Doesn't matter at what level. So what we'll do is we'll partner with that company X. We'll build that solution. But instead of charging that client X a development cost, we don't charge them. Instead, we partner with them. We give them a certain percentage on equity, right? And they are the ones who are responsible now in exporting the product to the market because they are already within that specific market, meaning they know exactly where to go for them to sell the product. And that way, we remain with a certain percentage of the product, and we become the responsible tech partner to make sure that that product performs at the ultimate best level. And that becomes one of ways we are able to get the clients. Of course, there's still so many ways, but I just wanted to mention that as well. Yes,
definitely. So how do you keep the cost of your products at a low price for small to medium enterprise when at the end of the day you would want to host your platforms on the popular cloud solutions like your AWS, your Microsoft Azure or Google, and they come in a little bit pricey?
there's a propaganda that were told, my brother, to believe that tech products are quite expensive. And this is the reason why these youngsters these days, when they find out that you are within tech, they expect you to be driving the most expensive car costing millions of rands, right? That's because that's exactly what we were taught from a young age, that people who are within tech are making a lot of money. But if you were to go, yes, but if you were to go down on ground and go check what some of these things cost, I mean, I'll give an example. I never understood why I have to be charged a certain amount of money on a license that I believe it can be charged less than that. Because when I look at the amount these people are actually spending on that license, let's be honest. If your product that you develop, develop is like probably around maybe 100 megabyte, the entire product that you're going to host on a cloud-based server. And if you estimate and you find out that for you to host, let's say, close to 1 million users in that product, it can be anything less than 1 gigabyte. Majority of hosting companies will start from 15 megabytes, if I remember correctly, right? What are the chances of you hitting that 15 gigabyte within a period of 5 years? And now you go look at the amount that you'll pay on that 15 gigabyte for you to host that product on that 15 gigabyte. And go look at products like your control panel web hosting products, right? Control panel web hosting products, you don't know, they don't host it for you. You host it on your own servers, isn't it? But at the end of the day, you're still paying license for them to support you. So basically, what you're paying is just for them. I mean, you're just paying for the fact that they actually gave you their product for you to use. You're not paying for them to host your entire files of your client, to host all of the website and all of that. No, because the entire software package is within your server. The only thing that you're hosting is just one string of code that hits back to their servers to tell them, oh, you're still a member. So, and now you tell me, how much amount of money do you think they are losing on a monthly basis? They're not losing money because they're literally not hosting anything for you. They're just hosting one string offline, which is the product key, to verify that you indeed still subscribe to their servers. So that's exactly what I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to make you see that tech products are not as expensive as people think they are. You know what I mean? So now going back to how do I then sustain the business if I were to host? My brother, I'm not hosting for myself. I'm hosting on those servers that you actually just mentioned. All I have to do is just to get there, look at the capacity of storage, the performance of the server that I actually need, and all of that. Go look at the amount of clients that I'll like to host. Yes, of course, I will agree. In our case, it will be a little bit different because we're hosting files and all of that and all of that. Then I'll go to the client and say, look, man, let me see the amount of files that we'll be hosting for you. Let me see the amount of employees you have internally. And obviously, we'll calculate that. And in most cases, you always find out that as much as you look at the cost there, and as much as you look at whatever that other companies are actually charging out there, we are always below that. Sometimes they charge you because it's the brand. Sometimes they charge you because you're paying for the name of the brand. You're not really paying because the cost really is too high. I don't believe in that because I've done that. I've seen that. Yes.
So what is your take? Well, sorry to catch you there. I just want to understand, what is your take on, since you're already on a path of African solutions for Africans, you're building African solutions for Africans, right? Because we understand our own market, right? And if we are to go backward to the server situation, what's your take on African building server environments or data centers that are for Africans?
My brother, I want to put it in a way anyone will understand it. Data centers are slowly becoming the new age real estate. Well, what do I mean by that? Right now, the only reason why we are able to communicate here, it's because our gadgets are transmitting data in a form of photographic material, the video, and the audio, and they're storing the same data to someone's cloud system. On a later stage, you're going to download the footage and store it and store that data in a form of a video to again to someone storage. The point I'm trying to make is that we are living in the world whereby almost everything we do depends on data, depends on numbers, depend on storage, and not just any storage, but cloud-based storage. And by the way, to those who doesn't understand, cloud-based storage or cloud-based server, it's basically the server that you can build on your own at the back of your room, and all you have to do is just to give people access to it. That's what it means, because people think like when you're speaking of cloud-based storage, it basically means they literally carry the entire server and put it at the cloud, on the cloud there for people to be able to access.
Somewhere else there.
Yeah, somewhere else in the cloud. No. It's just a server.
In the space station.
Yes, and by the way, I must highlight the fact that I got to get into the cloud space because I have my own offline service. And at some stages, I wanted to be able to access my own offline service when I'm away, so I can still be able to do my work. And that's why I started finding out possible ways I can be able to access it. And when I came across the thing, cloud-based servers, clouds, and all of that, when Google introduced their first cloud solution, I already knew what it meant, what it's all about. So the point I'm trying to make is the more people can learn how to host the data on their own, even better. Because one thing I've learned about these tech companies out there, what they do is in the first place, they'll offer you to save data that is worth of like maybe that is about like 10 megabytes into their own servers. Obviously, the cost wouldn't be that much. But as time goes by, they know the more the data you're saving inside of their servers, the less it's going to be, or the more it's going to be hard for you to be able to come out of it, because saving data a bit by bit on cloud is not the same as taking the entire chunk of data offline. It will cost you more. And they know the more you're saving data into their clients, the more the price keeps on increasing. It'll get to a point whereby all of the people right now who say, no, I've got a cloud storage, no, I've got a backup server, no, I've got it will turn out to be even way too expensive going forward. Then now, when you are within a space whereby you're not only a tech company, but you have a means of storing data, it's going to kind of like work out for you before you can even go out there. Because I'll give you an example right now. We do have offline service where when we see service of our clients are about to get full, we'll go sit down with them and show them, look, your service about to get full. Will you like us to increase it so we can also increase the amount of money that you're spending, or will you like us to back it up? I mean, they will check the amount of years going back and track it down and download the entire chunk of sometimes we don't even have to download because our offline servers are syncing with the online servers. It's just a matter of deleting the copies on the cloud server and still keep the old files offline. And when we do it that way, we'll just charge the client once off. What do we use that money for?
Yeah.
We buy an offline storage, an SSD card, and we install it on our offline servers. And our offline servers are not consistently running because we understand that is a cost on its own. Running a server 24/7 costs a lot of electricity, a lot of data. Will allow them to run at a certain specific time when we know these people are no longer working, so they can sync now, store the entire data on cloud, and take whatever that is on cloud, store it offline. So I'll tell you right now, probably in the next 5 years, 10 years from now, if you own a data center, you're owning gold machine, my brother. So I will highly encourage tech companies to look into possibilities of building servers. It's very crucial. Africans need to start waking up because it will get to a point whereby just accessing a single document is going to be expensive as accessing a bunch of documents in your own offline server.
Interesting. So I think when we started the podcast, right, you said, do I have 16 hours? And I can see we can actually talk for 16 hours.
How many hours, how many minutes are we in now?
Now we are 43. So I've got two questions that we need to summarize to close the podcast, right?
Okay.
One of them, of course, the first thing, you're gonna tell us how do people get to purchase GAVO? Where do they go? The products that are available for them off shelf, or they can subscribe online, and how they can get hold of you. You know, some people would want maybe to get in touch with you and talk further. And then another question is about AI. Right? I want to know if you are incorporating AI into your platforms, and at what level is AI incorporated?
It's simple. Go to gavor.com, Gavor is GAVOR. There is a contact form there. It will definitely give you a couple of questions to just fill in and answer, and we'll receive the email. Then we'll be able to look into what you'd like to have from us. And alternatively, on a personal capacity, you go to all our social media platforms, Tau Makofane, and you're just searching the name, and I'll just appear there. You're just searching the name, Tau Makofane, I'll appear there. How do we incorporate the AI? What a thing. We are at a stage whereby currently we have our own AI bots that we trained on almost our entire previous experience of the business, conversations on obviously not confidential information, but just general conversations. And we are pushing it toward the direction of us having AI employees that can literally be able to perform certain tasks, and performing certain tasks in a way an external person wouldn't tell is AI. Because the problem with how people utilize AI is the fact that they just take whatever that they get from AI, or they'll just send a basic prompt into AI and take whatever AI is giving them and push it out there. But I always had a problem with that. Problem with what? When the AI got introduced in the market, I warned a lot of people within my space to say, you have to understand that AI don't get information from its own repository. It's getting information from information that has been submitted by other individuals, including data available from the internet. And data that is available from the internet is the data that was created by other individuals like us, right? So if you're going to take a company policy or a company recipe for that matter, a confidential recipe that is meant to sustain the business, and push it back into the AI and say to the AI you would like it to help you probably reformat it or rework on it in a certain way, you're basically exposing the secrets of the company. And chances are, somewhere, somehow, if somebody were to be able to prompt something properly for it to match the data that you will have submitted into that AI, the same recipe that we are trying to hide is the same recipe that will end up just getting to be all over in any company. I don't care who says what. Go check this fast and food outlet. You wouldn't tell what spice they're using till date. And that is the secret recipe that has sustained their business for over years and years. You know what I mean? So the reason why we're building our own board internally, it's so that we don't find ourselves in a position whereby we have to take almost everything, pushing it to the public. Because when you push data into the AI, you're literally pushing secret of the company to the public. I don't care. People will say, no, but I have a private account. Private account doesn't necessarily mean AI will treat you as an exclusive person. No, private account just says us, the people, shouldn't be able to see what you're doing inside of your account. But the AI treats everyone's data the same way. I've came across, I don't know how many people who say, but us, we are fearful of AI because apparently there is a thing, AI is going to take work away from people and all of that. I don't believe in that. AI is never going to take work away from people, but rather people who are using the AI will take work away from people who are not using the AI, because it turned out to be expensive a day by day. It's becoming almost difficult a day by day, because depending on the type of prompt some of us who know how to prompt the AI are putting in there, it's learning from us. It will get to a point whereby it's no longer going to be easy for people to just, with a snap of a finger, prompt the AI, unless if you were to find ready-made products that does all of the prompts for you. But it will get to be in a position whereby people will no longer be able to use the AI properly. I think I'm just gonna stop here, my brother, because I know I'm not gonna stop talking.
No, it's all right. So I want to give you a challenge. If we are to sell GAVO in 1 minute, I want you to go in a minute now, and you are selling GAVO. That's our closing remarks.
I know you have problems in your company, and some of them you don't know how to solve them, and some of them you know they require tech products for you to be able to solve them. You don't have to think, or you don't have to go further. As the GAVO, we come within your company, we look at the problem that you actually have, and we custom build a solution that will solve all of the problems 100%.
Wow, we just did a commercial in 1 minute. That's it. I love
exactly,
it. I love
exactly what I told you in the first place. I don't want to go deep and be, we use the full stack, we use the graphic designs, no.
Nah,
Clients don't want to hear
work.
that. Don't work.
Definitely. Definitely. No, Soli, thank you very much for spending time with me on TechMark This was amazing. And congratulations on GAVO. And I mean, it's amazing. We'll have to try it out, for our invoicing and other stuff. But congratulations, say. I'm impressed. And I'm for African solutions for Africans, basically,
My brother, thank you so much for having me. I can see we are 10 minutes in, but yeah, it's okay. Till next time, my brother.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone, for watching TechMark. This episode was sponsored by TNG Solutions. So if you want to look at our services, TNG Solutions.co.za, we're here to assist you. Thank you very much, Soli, and everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.
Peace.